If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love.
I'm NJ.
Your daddy knows some inspiration, the juice. It is June the 11th, 2022, and today the topic is Train a Child. As you all may already see or hear, I have a special guest joining me today, who's not only who's not only observing me in my process this morning, but obviously he's going to join me a bit as well. Could you come over here, sir? Come here. This is your time to shine. Come on, come on over. So, tell the people good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name, sir?
NJ.
Your name is NJ, and how old are you?
3
3 years
years old.
old. Good job. Good job.
Candy.
Yes, and he has a little bit of candy there. So, what happened this morning, y'all, is that NJ was up rather early. And no matter how many times Papa and Mama sent him away, he just stayed up. And so it was getting closer and closer to time to do the juice. And it had came into my heart and mind to do it with him. And I was like, Lord, that's taking a chance right here, because who knows what this little boy is going to do. I mean, there's been times when I went live with him in my group in Unwind Self-Care and Sip Spa. There has been times where I would go live with him. And,
open it for me.
Y'all can already see now like how it is.
Open.
He's talking. He has things to say. He plays all these different things. And so I was like, well,
come on, open it.
As you guys can see already, right? So, it's like, okay, well, what is he going to do? But I was like, I tell you what, if it gets close to the time and he's still in here, then I'll go ahead and let him do it. So it got close to the time, and my alarm went off, and I'm like, okay, he's still here. So I had a conversation with him. I'm like, look, son, this is what we're going to do. Mommy's going to do my routine, and this is going to let me know if you should do it with me or not. Y'all know that the first thing that I usually do... Okay. The first thing that I usually do in the morning is listen to the Soul Space app. And so I did that, and he listened along with me, y'all. He was quiet. He listened along with me. Some of the things that he...
Open it.
NJ.
Please.
Some of the things that he... that the guide was leading me to say, he would try to say. And this is going to be the last one, okay?
Okay.
And so yeah, he did really well with that. And so as I started to get my verses, I had him just kind of do some things while I was doing that. And that's what happened. And so that's why he's here this morning. But I mean, I guess ultimately it leads us to the topic of today, which is train a child. So when I looked up verses centered around that concept of train a child, obviously Proverbs 22:6 came up, and that says, train a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. I feel like I'm a living example of this. I talk to you all the time about my mother and, the things that she instilled in me throughout my life and everything like that. And so, perhaps by me instilling these things in him early, these are some things that he won't depart from. At some point, if I'm not unable to do juice, maybe he'll be the one to keep it on, keep it going and stuff like that. And so, we're gonna see what the Lord do, right? But here, let me let you get up since you're being a little bit of a nuisance. But who knows? He might be the one to keep this thing going down the line, And so So yeah, those of us that are wondering, about training our children and whatnot, and wondering, is it worth it at the end of the day to instill these things in them at that early age? I would say yes. Again, if I think about my childhood or think about the things that I went through in life and the different choices that I had in life, those different crossroads moments and whatnot, I don't think I ever went too far when it came to not only just the things of God, but then also like the things that try to take me away from God, right? There were always moments where I just was like, okay, I know what I should do, I know what I've been taught, and I know how I feel, so let me figure it out from there. And it's like, because that was instilled in me to seek God, that's how I was able to make certain decisions and draw certain conclusions in my life that ultimately got me to where I am today. So yeah, man, at the end of the day, there are a lot of things I'm trying to instill in him now. I've been sharing with you guys how, I do want to incorporate us going to church, going to a place and worshiping amongst other believers and whatnot, a diverse group of believers, and everything like that. And so I'm gonna let him talk to y'all for a second. Let me see if he'll speak to y'all about how he feels about church. Because I know we've been 2 Sundays in a row now since he's been older. Because that's the thing too. He was going a little bit when he was younger. And then y'all know that pandemic happened and everything like that. And then now that he's a little bit older, he can actually understand and talk to y'all. So if you come here real quick, NJ.
Okay, Mommy.
Alrighty.
I can be in a minute.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to try to answer to the best of your ability, okay? So, NJ.
Mommy, what's that?
That is what Mommy's recording on. That's another device that Mommy's recording the podcast on.
Yeah, that's water.
It looks like water?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, NJ, do you like going to church?
Yeah!
You do?
I do.
Why do you like going to church?
Because I made for the life, for the kids, for the fair, and he take my coin.
Okay. He's been saying this phrase a lot lately. He's like, for the other life, for the other world. He's been saying that a lot lately, and I don't know where he got that from, but I'm like, okay, son. He said, I'm made for the other life, for the other world. He says that all the time. But okay, and so yeah, man, I know even so much so, y'all, that lately when we get ready to get in the car and go, like the other day when I had my speaking engagement, he went with me, and we got in the car and he was like, "Are we going to church?" And I was like, "Well, no, not necessarily. We're going to Mommy's speaking engagement today." But I saw how it, he went the first day, and then that second Sunday when we went, as soon as we pulled up in the yard, he just, in the church parking lot, he was like, we're at church. And then, like I told you guys, like I got ready to get out of the car. He was already trying to open the door. And then when I did let him out, I was his car seat and stuff and picked him up to get out of the car and everything like that. He was like running towards the church with joy. And so, again, it did make me feel like I was doing something right in those moments. I do want to keep that going. I think that's going to be my challenge for the summer, but also I guess just moving forward to continue that process of taking him. And we're going to see what the Lord do with everything. But so far, so good when it comes to that. Now, these next verses might be pulp today. It might be something that you all don't like. I found it very interesting that the rest of these verses was referring to discipline, and everything like that. And so, I know people struggle with that, right? People struggle with this idea of disciplining their children. And I guess I would say in a biblical way, right? Disciplining them in a biblical way. They're like, oh, I don't want to do this to my child. And I get it. Everybody, you're different people. You can make your own decisions. However, I believe that these verses give you something to think about. And just from some observations that I've made, I mean, we do try to handle this in a biblical way. Obviously now that he's getting older, we incorporate things like talking and there's also time out and other ways of discipline. But discipline, will and does happen in this household. Because it's important. I mean, it's important at the end of the day that he, learns respect. He learns right from wrong, and I believe that he does know that, and everything like that. So let's just share these verses, and then I guess we can chit chat about it. We're gonna see what the Lord say. So basically, Proverbs 22:15 says, "Folly is brand up in the heart of a child, but the rod of discipline drove it far from him." We can see even right now, my son is getting into everything. Like he's jumping around, he's bouncing around, messing with the set candles for GSL, all those little different things. He's jumping around and making this noise right now, right? And that's the thing. If I was going to be the type of parent to let him do that type of thing all the time, whenever he wants, then at the end of the day, he would do the same thing in school. He would do the same thing in a situation where he doesn't need to be doing that in, right? So, it starts at home. The discipline, all the values and all those different things start at home. So if we're teaching our children that, yeah, you can do whatever you want whenever you want, and then they get out into the world and then learn that, you can't do whatever you want whenever you want, then I believe that we're doing our children a disservice. The only reason he's getting by right now is because it further alongs my example to y'all, to just let him just be in this moment. But he knows in a normal situation that he would not be doing this, and mommy would not allow that and everything like that. And that's why he's trying to take advantage of this moment, right? But no worries, man. We're going to keep on going so I can wrap this up soon, because I don't want y'all, with all this noise in your ear. But how about this? I will ask NJ, excuse me, NJ, do you see mommy recording? Do you hear mommy talking? We need you to be a little bit quieter. Do you understand? Okay. So, Proverbs 13:24. "Whoever spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves him is diligent to discipline him." Is diligent to discipline him. So, yeah, again, kids may not fully understand, and then there's some adults that may not fully understand, and I get that there may be some people that have taken advantage of this. Exactly. See, you're out of breath because you've been doing too much. You need to just calm down, sir. Okay? Be a little bit more quiet while mommy's recording. Thank you. So as it says here, it says, "Whoever spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves him is diligent to discipline him." Now again, there's several ways to discipline, but it does refer to, the rod and everything like that. Now again, does that mean beat your child to the pulp? No. Does that mean, to harm them and break their bones and all kinds of evil like that? No. But, the tap of the rod or whatever the case is, well, I'm just going to tell y'all what the Bible says. I'm not even going to add anything to it. I'm just going to share what the Bible says. Proverbs 23:13. It says, "Do not withhold discipline from a child. If you strike him with a rod, he will not die." And that's one thing we got to keep in our hearts and minds. At the end of the day, disciplining our son, he's not going to die in those moments where we discipline him, But what moments he might die in is moments when someone else disciplines him on the outside. People always want to bring up this whole thing with the police, right? They want to bring up all these things when it comes to some of these teachers are getting out of control and all these other things. So those things, would you rather you discipline your own child, or would you rather someone else discipline your child? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself. Would you rather discipline your child at a young age? Do they learn respect and things like that? Or would you rather let them grow up and feel as if, no one can tell them anything, and then again go and find out later on in life that at some point someone is going to have authority over you, and there's consequences to your actions. So, these are just things to think about. I got one more verse to share. It's Colossians 3:20. It says, "Children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord." Just reminded me of the conversation that I had with the young ladies the other day, that there may be things that we don't understand, right? Again, there's things that it's still in my son right now that we're working on instilling in him that he may not fully understand. He may not understand why he can't just go around and eat cake all day and things like that. But at the end of the day, when he is older, he will understand. And that's just what we gotta keep in our hearts and minds, as we, raise our children and everything like that. If you instill those values in them, in those younger ages, I'm living proof that what that first verse says, that it will not depart from them. You'll see fruit come from your children. In Jesus' name. There's some more verses and things like that in the Go Deeper section for you all to peruse and let marinate on your hearts, souls, and minds. But the Bible verse of today is Isaiah 43:2. It says, when thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspirational juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all on Monday, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. NJ, do you want to say bye-bye?
Bye-bye!
Hello, charmers. Visit ttcboutique.com for the latest in fashion and accessories. Twice the charm, the source of women clothing.